If the unseen feels more at home to you than the seen, then this space is for you. Here on Illuminate Your Truth, the spirit world is valid. I'm your host, Elena Isis. Let's dive on in. Hello, and welcome to Illuminate Your Truth. Oh, wow, so good to be here today. And today I really want to chat about something that I've been diving so deeply into these past few months. I can't believe it's been months. It feels like years. But I am ready to share. I'm ready to share about the spiritual work that I've been doing in Israel. And I really just want to shed a light on what some spiritual people are out here actually doing in regards to this really terrible war that's happening in Israel. So I am ready to share, and this is pretty big for me because this comes from the depths of my soul. This work has really allowed so much growth for myself and trust and faith. And I'm just ready to kind of, pour it out. So let's get ready for this. Let's get ready. Let's go. Okay, so the spiritual work that I've been doing in Israel. So as ever since October 7th, I actually started doing this work in November. So October 7th happened, and Hamas came into southern Israel and just massacred. They massacred just innocent people in their homes, on army bases, all of those things. And they did a lot of horrific things to people, a lot of traumatizing things to people. And I just want to give a little warning, because some of the things that I'm going to be talking about in this episode are kind of sensitive and a little some of the things are really hard to hear, and just know that before you listen to this. But October 7th happened, and a lot of really horrible things happened to a lot of innocent people that day. And there was a real hit in the collective energetically after that day. Something kind of opened up, and demons were just kind of let loose out into the world. And a lot of darkness came and spread that day. And a lot of us healers, light workers out here felt drawn to Israel, felt a call to focus some energy there, to see what's going on there, to see what kind of light we can shine there. And essentially that's what I did. I felt called to Israel, to just, be really in touch with the news and what's going on with the war and what's going on with the people. And I felt just so drawn to Israel. And so I was okay, how can I help? Because I want to help. And so the first thing that I did when I started this journey was I was really focused on Palestine, and I just really wanted to help the souls of the dead, and there were countless dead. I'm sure everybody saw that. Horrific. The dead, children and mothers and all the people that I saw in these videos, and I was just okay, how can I help? And so I did a lot of psychopomp sessions. I also held a group session on Instagram, and I really just wanted to help the souls there cross over, because I know a lot of times whenever you die tragically, it is really hard to cross over, because sometimes you don't even know if you're dead. So a lot of times you're really confused. There were a lot of children that were really confused. And so I just was okay, that's how I can help. It's a different kind of help, and it's a different kind of level of help, but that's what I'm good at. That's the first thing that comes into my mind, because I'm definitely not normal and like everybody on this in this in this world. But there are a lot of people like me, and you're probably listening to this station. And yeah, so just letting you know. But so that's where I felt called to first. And so I just did so many like psychopomp sessions there, and and this is done in the astral realm. This is done journey work. Like this is like deep shamanic journey. That's how I was doing these healing sessions and psychopomping. And so I was doing that. And I just kind of was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, how else can I be used? And the Arcturians really just kind of spoke up. I asked for help. I did. I was like, I need help. Like, the darkness there is really, 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 really dark and heavy. And, I never travel there on my own. I'm always with my spirit guides. They surround me, and I just, I have this really ginormous shield of armor whenever I travel there. And, they really do protect me and keep me safe. And I'm so grateful for that. And so, like, I was asking, like, where can I be used? Where do I need to go now? Because I felt like, I was ready to be doing something else. Like, usually I only stay in certain places in the collective for a certain period of time. That's because I really like to just kind of dabble and fit. Once I'm doing it, then I want to do something else, then I'll do that, and then I'll do something else. That's just kind of how I am. And so I was called to start transmuting negative memories. So these are like memories in the collective of people who suffered really horrible deaths on October 7th. And I got this directive from the Arcturians. They really came to me and they were like, hey, you're going to be working with the Arcturian Blue Ray, and we're also going to be helping you. And this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be transmuting some of these traumatic memories that were kind of burned into the collective. So you think about the collective as a soul, like this, all of our souls and our memories and energy. After really horrific things are done in the world, that energy can stay there. And it can really wreak havoc in the physical world, not only in the spiritual world. And so it's really important that when these really traumatic things happen, spiritual teachers, healers, light workers are going in, those who feel called to, and transmuting those negative memories and energy, however it is that they can, however it is that they use their gifts in shining light, on darkness. And so that's where I was called. I was called to start transmuting these negative timelines. And so there are lots of different ways that these people were murdered, really horrific ways. My first case was a baby, and this baby was actually put into an oven, and the oven was turned on, and the baby died in the oven. One of the most horrific things I've ever heard. I tried not to lose complete faith in humanity, but when I learned that was my assignment, one of those babies, I've heard that Hamas did this. I don't even know if it was, I believe it was to multiple children. And when I got this assignment, I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can do this, because it's heavy, it's dark, and I just didn't know if I had the strength, but I did. Jesus and the Arcturians believe in me more than I believe in myself a lot of the times, and they said, yes, you can do this. And so I was like, well, I don't know how to do it. And the Arcturians were like, okay, well, we're going to show you how. And so it's really cool. It was how they showed me how to transmute these memories. I don't know if you know what juxtaposition is, but it's really like polar opposites side by side. So what you do is you actually have to go find the memory. And so you find the memory. And in this case, I actually had to see it. I had to be with that child. And I saw it as in I was like looking through his eyes as he was in this oven, and this traumatic event was happening. And while I was in this horrible memory, almost kind of reliving it energetically with this baby, I was actually I was very curious about the death, and like you wonder how you would die in that situation. And it was actually the breath that kills you. The breath. The heat, the lungs bursting, things like that. That is how this baby actually died. And like, oh my God, I can't even believe I can talk about this because it's taken months to even be able to, believe it, happening. And so I take that memory and that feeling of it. You need the feeling. So, I needed the feeling. I couldn't just see it. I had to feel it in order for me to do this. So I had that feeling. And then I kind of zoomed out into like a third person perspective. So I'm like looking down on it at this point. And then next to it, I put a new scene. And I put a scene of a mother reading this baby a book in a rocking chair. And I just put those two memories, pictures, side by side. And I started it over. And I watched both of those things happen. But something would change in the end to where the memory of the violence, that was gone. That memory faded. And it was replaced by this really loving memory of this baby and his mother being rocked and read to. And that memory replaced the other one. Now, I'm not saying that this didn't happen, but energetically, in order to transmute that negative memory, that negative energy on this planet Earth, it has to be replaced with something positive. And so I replaced it with that memory. And it was so interesting. After I did that, I saw this version of this baby grow up into like an adolescent. And he stood in front of that memory and he guarded that memory. And it was like a part of his soul was sent there to specifically be in charge of this memory and to make sure that the positive one was the one that was reinforced and the one that actually happened. And then I came out of that and I just was like, wow, like that's intense. That is like so intense, but so beautiful and so necessary. So if you are out here doing that kind of work, oh my God, I'm sending you so much love because it is so much. But it makes you feel alive and it makes you feel like, okay, like this is what has to happen in order for this earth to continue to raise in vibration and rise in consciousness. Because if we cannot have all of this negativity, all of these negative memories, trauma, energy, all just lingering, it just cannot be, or else there will be no growth. There will be no more. So if you're doing the work, I praise you for that. And I just am sending you so much love. So that was my first session, doing the collective healing work. And then and then I saw this video of, it was an African boy, and he was surrounded by, Hamas terrorists, and they actually ended up killing him. They beat him and then killed him just in the street, and I really felt called to go to him and to check on him. And that'll happen. That happens a lot in my journey. I'll see like people who have died in videos or like in pictures, and I'll feel really called to be like, okay, like let me just check and make sure that they got to where they needed to go. And I really felt like that with this kid. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna check on him. And so I checked on him, and he was really, really cool. Like, we had a really good conversation, and he was basically like, yeah, I got to where I needed to go. And actually, like, my father, who had passed away prior to the October 7th, he said my father actually came, and he actually came and got me. And so for a lot of the painful parts, he didn't feel much pain at all. And he was really grateful for that. But I remember him saying, like his father came and really helped him leave, he was able to leave his body and be not really feel a lot of the pain. And I was like, wow, like that's really cool. And he also said something that stuck with me. And there's a lot of videos out there of these people who are being beaten, murdered, like all the things that happened on October 7th, which we will never forget. And his video was posted too, and he had this feeling of like, yeah, I know the video has to be seen, but he just wanted to say, like, that was only a moment in my life. Like, my life was good. And he said, I lived well. That painful memory, that painful video of that event that happened to him was simply just a moment. And I thought, wow, it's so true, and it's so beautiful. And he's at peace. And I was just so, so happy about that. So that's another part of, some of the work that I'm doing is just checking on people. Checking on people. So now there's another part of this that I've been doing, and this has been so on my heart. There are priestesses, there are spiritual workers out here who are providing support on a spiritual level to the hostages that have been taken. On October 7th, they not only massacred, they also kidnapped a lot of people. Women, children, older people, like, it didn't really matter. Hamas just kind of kidnapped. And so for months now, I've been providing spiritual support to the hostages as well. And this is also done in the astral realm through shamanic journey work. A lot of times Jesus is with me. I mean, he's with me most of the time when I'm doing this work, just like really helping to provide and encourage. I think the role of that is just sending love and sending encouragement for those who are still alive, and just hope, hope and faith, and to not give up. And that has been going on, that's been going on since November as well. And so all of these things that I'm doing in Israel for the collective, I have just really dived into it, and I wanted to share because I feel like a lot of you have the capabilities to do a lot of this work and you just don't know how to do it. So I really hope that my explanation of how it kind of works for me and how my guides have led me and showed me different techniques and things like that, I really hope that you can do that too. A lot of us have different gifts and we do things differently. When I'm psychopomping, when I'm crossing people over, it's more of a like guided, like a journey, so like a meditative journey. And I always travel with my guides, of course, and they really like to do a lot of the work, honestly, with the psychopumping. If we're talking about Jesus, he really does open the hearts of people and allow them to get whatever it is off of their chest so that they have the space to actually cross over into the light. So I would definitely suggest taking Jesus along with you. And I just kind of visit them in whatever space they're in. And I'm just open to what's shown to me, and I just take it for what it is. And, you just really have to trust and believe what you're seeing, hearing, feeling, whatever way that your gift comes through. But like I said, let your guides do a lot of the work. I'm not a medium, so I'm not really trying to get messages. I'm really just trying to make sure that they cross over. To me, that's like the most important thing. And so that's what I do with that kind of work. And that kind of work it's so rewarding. And I really feel like whenever you get really good at doing that, you can actually kind of throw it into like your daily life. Like sometimes you'll see or feel, a soul around you that is lingering. You can just kind of hurry up and cross them over real quick. It's really cool. It's really fun. And it really isn't too difficult once you get the method and a technique down. But call on your spirit guides for that. Let's be honest, like like 70% of my techniques have been learned through my spirit guides and what they have shown me. I do a lot of journaling, and so a lot of times I'll just let them talk and I'll just write. That can be a really good way to receive techniques on how you can heal the collective. And just having that intention of, hey, spirit guides, I really would like to do healing, collective healing work. And, can you lead me in the right direction? Just give me one step. What's my first step here? Just being really open with spirit about that, because I think now is a time when we need there need to be so many of us out there doing this work, because there's like I'm saying, like, darkness is out and rampant. It is growing at a crazy rate right now. And so, light workers, we need y'all to step up. We need help, because I know I can't do it on my own. I know I'm not doing it on my own, but I know that I definitely can't do it on my own. We need as many people as possible, which is why I felt really called to talk about what I'm doing. Usually I just kind of keep this stuff to myself because it's really dark, it's really deep, and it's a huge part of what it's a huge part of my life right now, and I'm enjoying the work. It's very fulfilling. It really makes me feel alive, which is something I prayed for. Some type of work that really made me feel alive, that really moved my heart and got me fired up. And so this definitely is that. But yeah, so if you feel like you're drawn to do collective healing work, I know it sounds really intense. I know the stories I've told, but that is our reality. And, if you're here to feel it all, heal it all, then, that might be the right path for you. And, if it is, I am praying for you, and I'm just sending you so much light and so much love, because you are gonna need it. It is dark out here. We need all the light we can get, and so I'm just gonna give that to you, and you gobble it on up. But wow, I feel so good. I really am really it feels so good to have been able to get this off my chest and just really share. And I hope you all are receptive, and I hope that I was able to kind of shed some light and some understanding on what some of us out here in the spiritual realms are doing to help heal the collective, so that our great and grand Mother Earth can just rise in vibration and just be the most beautiful light in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, thank you so much. Bye for now. Bye. Be sure to subscribe to my show, Illuminate Your Truth. And if you would like to rate my show or leave me a review, feel free to do so. I really appreciate all these things. They just help me on this journey of growth and self-discovery. Grateful for every single one of you for tuning in. And I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful day. All right, bye for now.